I definitely would have put it in. I mean, I thought Lunatic High would win King of the Hill, but when I found out it was Oasis, I think Runaway should have the upper hand here because outside of City Center, most of the maps or the other two maps are pretty Reinhardt centric, and I do think that Runaway had the Reinhardt advantage during this series. So last time I think that this match went down, Runaway beat Lunatic High, or I remember them winning on this stage because I remember Eska dying a bunch of times to Haxel. So I would give Runaway the advantage on this map in particular, but again, it's like one of those things where if Lunatic High does run Reinhardt the whole time, they should be better off. If we get the pause, I think there's gonna be a pause. I actually didn't watch this map. I watched every map, or I watched like half of Hollywood. Missed definitely some of this.
Loser will be picking every map in each map type from now.
Are they gonna mirror or are they gonna Winston?
It is going to be University, and this should be very beneficial for Runaway.
It's interesting. No, never mind. They switched. 2-2-2 versus 2-2-2. All right, fair. Although again, it doesn't matter because these comps aren't real. Although I wouldn't be, I'd be down if Haxel picked Torbjorn. All right, so they have mirror comps. A majority of this actually comes down to like Eska and Stitch, because I would say that Who Are You and Haxel are actually probably pretty evenly matched in terms of Genji skill. But Haxel definitely makes a lot more individual plays, I think, without his team. I mean, look at how safe they're playing. Like, nobody wants to commit to anything. Whoever dies first is like, it's going to snowball so hard. And I am glad to like see this. This isn't typical of matches at any level, I don't think, right now. Alright, so we gotta pause. So where does this end?
What a buzzkill there. Haxel looks very confused.
It goes for a while. That's like a 6-minute pause. Past it. Sound issue. Sound issue. I need the.
Also, Haxel has shown pretty, again, poor.
No! These thumbnails, man, are so useless. I want to like start from the action. Alright, here we go. We're just gonna go with this.
Then we see Haxel play the Zarya, so it sort of filters down.
But yeah, both teams are playing really safe. But I'm glad because it's. I feel like that's how Overwatch should be played, at least on like the top level. So I'm glad that like Apex Finals are bringing it out more so than other tournaments. I think teams are more likely to take crazy risks. Alright, so I don't know what happened. We just launch right in and Haxel goes on a 4K, so that was pretty sick. I have no idea what just happened though. But this is pretty much the story of what happened on the last time that they played this map. I think it was in the round of 8. Haxel going off. Oh my god, they have picture-in-picture. Ooh, that dash with the fire strike, pretty sick. So now Runaway has the point. Lunatic High needs to either make a crazy play or hit a massive Dragon Blade. But realistically, nobody on Runaway should die here. Although it looks like a lot of people are going low. Good bump. Now here it comes. Massive sleep dart from Jaehong. And then Who Are You comes in with the counter blade. That's actually so sick. Kaiser gets a 2-man shatter, gets killed immediately. I don't know if I agree with that shatter. I think that that fight was probably over already. I think once their Nano Blade failed, they should have saved that ult. I'm actually surprised they used it. There was probably not any reason for him to have thrown it out there. Because I really don't think that that fight was salvageable. Like now Lunatic High has defensive shatter and defensive sound barrier. Runaway is still trying to build their barrier. It's a pretty big deal, and Kaiser's nowhere near shatter, so I would say this next fight is... I mean, Runaway has Graviton, but do they have any real follow-up? It depends on the Annonade. If the Annonade doesn't come through, then I don't think that they can win this. That's a huge Graviton, but sound barrier does come out from Toby. Now, Sleep Dart into charge. Jaehong with another Sleep Dart kill. That's actually crazy. Or another Sleep Dart opening. Teams are trading though. This should favor Lunatic High because they do have control of the point. They way overcommitted there. I'll blame this on the first map nerves because I really don't think... I don't know why Miro would Earth Shatter a Graviton in that situation. I think that they're just jittery. But the sleep darts have been pretty nuts. Eska gets zoned. He should just jump off the map. I think he's gonna die, right? No, they're gonna let him out. Interesting. Jaehong's gonna have Nano. I don't know who he nanos here. Maybe Zumba or Miro. But Haxel has Nano, or Haxel has Dragon Blade 2. Although Who Are You does kill Runner somehow. I don't know how that happens. Fat Sleep Dart again. Jaehong is actually carrying, and then Eska wakes him up. Well played, well played. Are they gonna retake here? I think they retake here. The Nano boosted somebody. Yeah, it was Zumba. Zumba's not anywhere near Graviton though, but I think it's still fine. Worst case scenario, he wins the fight. Like worst case scenario, he builds Graviton at the end of the day, I guess is how to look at it. Now Cox is gonna have that's another really bad feed from Runner. Runner's died before the fight started, I think like 2 or 3 times in a row already. And that's just on this map. But Runaway's in a good spot right now. I mean, Miro doesn't have Earth Shatter, Kaiser has Shatter, they have Nano Blade, they're gonna have Graviton in a second. It's gonna come down to, I guess, if they can get a pick before the fight starts, because there shouldn't really be any way for them to win this, I think, on Lunatic High. Yeah, they're just blowing everything. Because I know if they win this fight, the clock will probably be in their favor. So I think that this should be their map. Bumper didn't even have to grab there. Like, they can Graviton here. I like this push up here. They're just pushing up here so that they can force them back, like not even give them a chance to get on the point, which I really like. Although Eska switched to Tracer, not sure where he is, although it looks like he died, so it doesn't matter anyway. The Who Are You does get in. But the Graviton advantage is definitely too much, unless Miro pulls off some crazy hero play here.
And it looks like Runaway may just have it on this point, depending on how quick the respawn.
Stall. Who Are You's gonna have Dragon Blade soon? I don't know if he's gonna get back in time. Yeah, no way. That was a good first map. I think you could like feel the jitters though. Everyone's just kind of like popping ults. Zumba Gravitons, Miro shatters the Graviton. It's just a single Zarya in the Grav. Nothing to do with it. I mean, it's okay. They had so much time to prep for this match too, is I think another thing to look out for. Like, they had what was the last time they played? I haven't done VOD reviews all week. Like, the only VODs I've watched were the 3rd place match, and that feels like it was a while ago. That was like Monday, I'm pretty sure. Not before Monday. Maybe it was last Friday. Point being that they had a lot of time to prep, so this is like they finally reached the stage and like the match is actually live.
I mean, mirror compositions once again. We're getting into the same issue surrounding the buffed up Dragon Blade.
Mirror comps again. A lot of teams are favoring this Winston Diva style. I think it's really good. It's very good at stalling the point. This is why it's strong. Like, you get the heroes, and then if you do cap first, it's really hard to retake. So Bumper Kaiser to get the first 2 kills. This should be an easy win for Runaway. I don't really see any way for Lunatic to come back here. They don't have massive team fight or anything. But again, you're running Winston Diva. You have Primal Rage to stall the point. You have Self-Destruct to stall the point. You have a Tracer to blink around to stall the point. And then you have to worry about Dragon Blade at the same time. So that's really the strength in these comps, and I think that's why a lot of teams are preferring it now. And I'll talk later, I guess, about how it affects defense, because the same way that it stalls out points, it stalls out carts. And Eska kills Cox immediately. That's a huge play, actually, from him. This fight should be winnable right now for Lunatic High. Just instantly removing the Ana is crazy. Eska's playing well. I mean, I think a lot of people were giving him flack, and his pulse bombs throughout the series, I think, were pretty weak. But I didn't feel like he was feeding today. And I did feel like Miro actually had an insane series, like, overall. Miro and Zumba definitely overperformed, but this fight was always going to go this way, I think. Instantly killing the Ana before the fight starts is huge. Let's go waiting for the pulse bomb. Again, it's hard to retake with these comps unless you make a crazy individual play. So Miro pops Primal to stay alive there because he knows if he dies, it's going to be a very, very hard fight for his team. Eska's looking for a pulse bomb right now, but you see, like, it's hard to get up here. Like, how do you actually attack Jaehong with your comp? You kind of have to, like, dive a Winston or a Genji or something at you, and even that's not really a guaranteed kill. I think they're waiting for the Nano Blade, but by that time, Jaehong should have his own Nano Blade ready. There's one Nano Blade, Sound Barrier counter, and I'm in a counter Nano Blade. Jaehong is insane. That's like the 4th sleep dart on this map. third or fourth sleep dart on this map. Second on a nano boosted Genji, which is ridiculous. But I'm glad that they switched back to the Ana because last week, or in their second semifinals match, they were running a lot of Zenyatta, and I didn't feel like it was that good. But Eska's playing very well. He's not really killing Stitch, but he's dealing with Stitch, if that makes sense. He's playing like the Tracer counter, which is very, very good, I think, because I do believe that Runaway plays with Stitch kind of as like this flanker role. So if Eska's playing like a pocket Tracer, which is kind of what he's been doing, and just making sure that Jaehong's not getting pressured. Like even right now, he's not going for any big plays. He's just making sure that Stitch is like accounted for. And he doesn't actually have to kill Stitch. He just has to make sure that Stitch is dealing with him and not with Jaehong. Big, what's it called? Grenade. This fight should still be Lunatic High, fine for Lunatic High. They do have Nano Boost. They'll have Primal Rage. Primal Rage should solve this point out regardless of what happens. Jaehong can die here, and they probably still shouldn't lose this fight. Just because Miro can pop Primal. Although it looks like Miro just popped Primal with an Animate on him based on his health when he popped it. But I think Jaehong's going to save this Nano Boost for when Who Are You gets his ult. Because Runaway is just kind of popping everything as they get it so that they can try to retake the fight. But their ult usage here isn't super clean. So that was a pretty straightforward round, I think. I mean, realistically, Eska did clutch because I don't think that they should have been able to retake that second fight when they pushed back in. But Eska killing Cox before the fight even starts is huge, and I think that goes to show like the play styles. Eska goes to the flank when he needs it, but then when they have the point, he's playing super defensive and protecting Jaehong more so than going for the flank. So I do think that the strategy is like very sound. But you can definitely see the difference in playstyle depending on the situation anyway.
And maybe this is an opportunity now for them to try see if you can pull out a different strategy because Jaehong is really throwing a wrench in the works. We are going to City Center now, as you can see.
See, City Center is weird because you would expect Lunatic High to win this, but I'm not sold on the whatever. I think Farrah Mercy is very strong here, and I think that might be the difference maker. Who Are You kind of has to deal with Cox, because I don't think Eska is going to go McCree or 76. Or you don't really want to have to go McCree or 76, I think, if you're Eska. You just want to stay on Tracer as much as possible. This Tracer is doing pretty well. But they don't have a good answer to Cox other than Zumba. I'm not sure that Zumba is really going to go for this. Although it's interesting that Cox is usually their healer, I'm pretty sure. So it's weird that Bumper's playing the Mercy, but I do like the ability for this team to switch up their roles like that. It's kind of surprising, I guess, but it's different. Like you just let your normal healer player like frag out, whatever, man. But they win initially, and this goes back, like this is the same thing that happens on a lot of these Koth maps, especially ones where you don't want to run Reinhardt and you don't want to run Zarya. Like now that Runaway has the point, it's so difficult to retake unless Eska makes another hero play. Now, I'm not sure that it can happen or how it's going to happen. So Cox kills Zumba, this fight's already over, and that's another free like 10-15% at least. If anyone else dies, that's really bad. It's Channel Vigilant, yeah. So they get Jaehong. This is another late death. They're not playing particularly well right now. They should have all suicided. They're just dying one by one by one. So free 15%, 16%, it's almost at 50. Not good if you're Lunatic High. They're not even close to the Nano Blade is the problem too. Like Jaehong has this Nano Boost, and it would be really good if Who Are You had his Blade, but even with the Blade, it's going to be hard to get kills. So Stitch pops out the Primal Rage, that's another huge win for them. Cox kills Eska, damage booster Rocket, Instagib. Another Sleep Dart onto Haxel, Jaehong doing incredibly. But they still have to deal with this Res, they still have to deal with the Primal Rage. I'm not sure how Lunatic High wins this. Even there, they popped Nano Boost on someone. I'm not sure who it was. But they didn't have Nano Blade, so... Runner dying first is pretty bad. Zumba trying to kill Bumper. You gonna die? Yeah, he's dead. They are gonna retake. I'm surprised. I don't think that Mercy should have died. Or I don't think that Mercy should have been in that position. But whatever. I actually didn't even see the res come out. This fight was very scattered. I think that they were just spectating people that weren't popping ults. But Runaway did burn a lot there. And Lunatic High came back. I guess it was the sleep dart that really opened that fight up. Once you take out Haxel, it's a lot of their damage gone. The Eska's not even taking risks. He's just playing around with Stitch. As long as they have the point, he doesn't have to do anything. He just has to live. Massive bait from Jaehong. Turns into a 2K. Where you Dragon Blade comes out to kill Bumper. That was insane. Who are you up in the skybox killing the Pharah? Runaway, again, their comp is weird. Cox has to make a huge play, I think, for this to work because they don't have a Dragon Blade nano boost. Like, they don't have a nano boost at all. So offensively, they don't have a lot of ults. Or, like, they don't have any real, like, big offensive ults unless you count Barrage. But Barrage is kind of risky into a Genji and an Ana, let alone a Diva. So, ooh, I'm surprised he didn't go for the Pulse Bomb there. But he did a lot of damage there. Alright, free kill on Bumper. That was a big play from Eska, too. And this fight's over. Now this is really scary for Runaway. I'm actually surprised that Lunatic High loses this map. Someone has to either mess up or someone has to go huge. There's no in between. Because the res like still isn't even up. And they don't have, I mean, I guess Haxel can go off, but so they dodge Eska here. Free kill on Runner again. Runner's kind of getting, I don't know what the word is. That's actually huge that they don't kill Cox during that barrage. They did kill Bumper though, and Bumper does have res, but he got like a 2 or 3K, which is incredible. Interesting. They didn't even get sound barrier off. I'm not sure what happened there on the Lunatic High side. Like, I don't know how Zumba didn't eat it or how Jaehong didn't sleep it or whatever, but Jaehong switches to 76 now to get back to the point. I don't know if I like this. But I guess it's panic mode. They have to get on the point right now. Big pulse bomb. Suicide, but it's worth it because he'll get back before the 76 anyway. And his team has 2 healers, and now they have res. So now the res makes this a 6v4, and this should be the end of the game. I'm not sure what happened in the fight before. Like, I really don't know how Cox managed to get off a full duration barrage without dying. And then they win that fight when there's so many counters to the barrage on the side of Lunatic High. Like, just a single sleep dart, like a tracer spam. But this fight's over. It really does come down to like 1 or 2 plays generally, the control maps. But well played.